Now that developing story out of Tennessee, new details on the suspect in that terror attack that left 5 service members dead. Investigators are working 24/7 to find out everything they can about Mohammed Abdulaziz. How did he plan his rampage? Who did he meet on his recent trip to Jordan? I recently reported from that country on the effort to contain the ISIS threat and talked to numerous young men who supported the jihadist group. Now officials want to know if the Tennessee shooter had any links to ISIS. Here's senior justice correspondent Pierre Thomas.
Right now, the phones and computers of Mohammed Abdulaziz are at the FBI laboratory in Quantico, Virginia, an urgent effort underway to find clues to his motive. He was not under FBI investigation, not under surveillance. And the FBI wants to know how he was able to operate under the radar. They're looking at his travel, including a 7-month trip to Jordan last year. Did he secretly go to other countries during that visit? And they want to find out if he was using online aliases to view violent propaganda or using encrypted communication to hide contacts with overseas radicals.
Law enforcement is asking, is there more we could have done? Is there more that we should have done? Were people aware that he was traveling to that region? Were there signs that he was exhibiting in the community that were missed?
The FBI is under tremendous pressure with terrorism investigations in all 50 states involving hundreds of suspected radicals, many of them thought to be ISIS sympathizers. Just 1 week before the Chattanooga terror attack, the FBI director was sounding the alarm before Congress.
I cannot see me stopping these indefinitely.
And while we don't yet know if Abdulaziz has ties to ISIS, that's the group that Comey fears is an imminent threat, specifically because of its unprecedented social media campaign targeting smartphones, computers, and tablets.
It buzzes in their pocket. So there is a device, almost a devil on their shoulder all day long saying, kill, 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 kill.
A daily sophisticated multimedia campaign using all the advertising tricks.
Yeah, we certified HUD. Yeah, we certified HUD.
Primary ISIS focus, directives to kill U.S. military. And it's working. In recent months, at least a half-dozen suspected ISIS sympathizers accused of plotting to kill U.S. soldiers here at home. In March, an Illinois National Guardsman was accused of conspiring with his cousin to murder his fellow soldiers. In April, an Ohio man charged after he traveled to Syria and was allegedly directed by ISIS to kill military personnel. Men like Abdulaziz in their 20s. The difference, Abdulaziz got through. For This Week, Pierre Thomas, ABC News, Washington.
And joining us now, Congressman Michael McCaul, chair of the Homeland Security Committee, who's calling the shooting an ISIS-inspired attack. Chairman McCaul, can you tell us the latest that they found out about Abdulaziz?
Well, the FBI is currently doing a forensics examination on his computer, his cell phone, his travels to Jordan, which is right across the border from Syria. So we have the threat of foreign fighters, but also we have the threat over the internet, which is a new sort of threat that's out there, a new generation of terrorists. As you heard Director Comey talk about, these internet directives from a cyber command, if you will, out of Syria to activate people in the United States to attack. And what they are saying is attack military installations and attack police officers. And what we saw was one of the most deadliest attacks on American soil against our U.S. Marines and an American sailor. And this was the case that we were most worried about. We have followed quite a few cases. We have over 60 cases that we've rolled up ISIS followers over the last year. That's more than one per week. We have investigations into all 50 states, but what keeps us up at night are really the ones that we don't know about. And I'm afraid that this case falls into that category.
Well, to that point, you had a naturalized citizen, numerous trips to Jordan, which borders Syria, as you said, a father who was on the terrorist watch list at one time, reports of abuse, online writing. Shouldn't alarm bells have sounded?
Well, it's 2020's hindsight. I commend the FBI and Homeland for stopping so many terrorist plots in the United States. But we will be examining this case. I know the FBI is investigating, again, his travel. The father was on a watch list, was under an investigation that was closed. We'll be looking at all those details. But, you know, this is, again, the new sort of threat that's out there over the internet that's very hard to stop. We have 200,000 ISIS tweets per day that hit the United States. And this is one of those threats that Director Comey talks about, is getting the chatter is so loud and the volume so high that it's a problem that's very hard to stop and disrupt in this country. It's something we've been warning about over the last year, and unfortunately we saw it take place in Chattanooga. And Martha, if it can happen in Chattanooga, it can happen anywhere, anytime, any place, and that's our biggest fear.
Mr. Chairman, you say 2020 is hindsight, or 2020 hindsight, but Tamerlan Tsarnaev had a background that should have raised alarms as well. And haven't we taken more measures since the Boston bombing to try to stop or track someone like this?
Of course, and I was one of the biggest critics of that, of the way that was handled. That particular case, we saw it fall through the cracks. This is one we'll be conducting oversight and examining what happened. But again, when we're stopping, like we did the 4th of July plot that was imminent to blow up military at 4th of July parades, when we stopped at Garland, we stopped, we've again arrested over 60 ISIS over the last year. Again, that's more than one per week. This is a very difficult counterterrorism challenge in the United States. And I met with the generals that conduct the war on terror. And you know what? I think we need to take the fight over there a little stronger. And we need to hit these guys, these cyber commanders that are sending these internet directives out to attack in the United States. And
I'm going to have to let you wrap up there, Chairman McCaul. Thank you very much for joining us.